Hello, it is New Year's Day 2021. I'm headed to my friend Joe's house. This is my last free weekend for a while. So it's kind of my last chance. I don't know if it's a good chance, but it's my last chance for a bit to get some significant work done on the Jeep. So I've got finally all the components for my Skyjacker 3-inch lift kit. I wanted to get a measurement first to have a reference. Now let's check the front. This is the passenger front. I'm at about 30.5. And final front, yeah, about the same, 30.5. So we'll see what this 3-inch lift is gonna do. I'm excited. Where we're at now, right in the center of the tire, we are up about 34.75 is what I'm seeing, right to the fender. It seems that I did my study, my due diligence before I got the kit that I ordered about particularly whether I needed longer control arms. And ultimately, I decided to get the kit that came with the shocks, but no control arms, because it was cheaper to get the control arms separately than to get the shocks separately, number one. And number two, most forums said that up to about 3.5 inches stock control arms are likely long enough. It seems that's not the case for me. If I go over a medium bump and I get some flex in that suspension, I'm getting noise out of the front, and I'm pretty sure I have narrowed it down to the wheels rubbing on the back of the wheel well. It looks like the front axle is pulled back towards the cab just slightly. Okay, so I'm just measuring a couple things. I just measured my wheelbase. Factory says it's supposed to be 101.4 or something like that, but 101 inches plus, and mine measured at 100. So I'm pretty much an inch short. So that confirms my suspicion that the back of my tire is rubbing on my wheel well right here when the suspension goes up. And that's obviously, if it's a problem now, when I go to a slightly bigger tire, it's going to exaggerate the problem. So I need to get that axle to move forward a little bit. So I'm exploring some options on that. I did take it in and get it aligned with all the new steering components and everything that were put in, and my wheel is finally straight for the first time since I've had it, and it's going down the road so much, it's tracking so much better going down the road. So I just need to get this suspension travel thing in the front solved. So I'm also looking at my control arms, trying to decide on whether to do drop brackets or extended arms, adjustable arms. And I'm kind of leaning towards brackets now that I look at it. I was thinking that this arm was flatter, so this should be, the back of my hand is about level. And this is so tall that I'm even starting to bend my bracket right there when my suspension goes down. So this angle that this lower arm is sitting at is pretty much maxed out. Even though my lift was only 3 inches, all the drop brackets I've seen say they're for 4.5 or more, but I'm really thinking that that might be the way I need to go. because they also say that the ideal is for this lower arm to be close to straight at normal ride height, from what I understand. So I do have just a very rudimentary measurement. I've got about 5 inches that this could come down here in the back. So that drop bracket's going to bring it down, well, close to that probably. So that may be my solution. And what I like about the drop brackets is that they do drop the upper and lower arms. So that gives me some good direction on that, I think. As a point of reference, here are the old ones. In position, upper, lower. That upper one's backwards, but yes, farbu. Out with the old, in with the new. Nice shiny red, upper and lower. We've measured the wheelbase within about a 1/4 inch. Passenger side, slightly under. But it should be enough to get me home. Then I'll get it into the tire shop for a proper alignment, and hopefully they will dial everything else in. While putting together these video clips on the front suspension, I became aware that I didn't get any good video of the completed project. So, with the fender currently off, waiting for paint, now's a really good time to take a view of all the stuff on the front end. So here's what we have. New coils. There's the Skyjacker sticker on those. These didn't go in the easiest, but we did get them in. I did have to disconnect the lower control arm to get the axle to drop far enough to fit these taller springs in. And I believe we also had to disconnect the other side so that it could lift up enough while this one dropped down far enough to get that clearance. So we did end up having to have both sides disconnected at the same time for it to articulate as much as we needed. But we did get it in. And all this lift on the front is primarily involving the springs here. Now, when we put them in, initially, they did have kind of a noticeable bow towards the front, but that got resolved by adding the adjustable control arms and pushing the axle the inch forward that it needed to go. And that's pretty much straightened those out. Then there's the shock that also came with the kit, and the aforementioned adjustable control arms, upper and lower.